Sorry.
Can you display some professionalism at some point in time in your peer officiating career, Daniel Young? I would appreciate that.
I don't expect you to understand what this means, but I'm a paragon of officiating professionalism, of professionalism in general.
Paradigm. What did you say?
I didn't say paradigm.
I'm just wondering, what did you say?
Said paragon.
Paragon. Excuse me 1 second while I look that up.
Welcome to VSG 163, everybody.
A person or thing regarded as a perfect example of a particular quality. How did you know that word?
I don't know how to explain that to you. I just did. And more importantly, that's what I am in terms of professionalism within this company.
Wow. A person or thing viewed as a model of excellence. That's definitely not you.
That's it, baby. Let's go.
Paragon. Okay,
Was that Brandon that said welcome to VSG 163?
Yeah, that was me.
Yeah. So good evening, everyone. Good morning to Mr. Greg Evers. We have a really good show today. Why do we call this a show? Am I the only one who makes a mistake?
Yeah, we don't call it that.
That's a party of one deal there, buddy.
Okay. All right. Brandon, your output is a little aggressive. Maybe go into your settings and reduce the volume a little bit.
Oh, really? It's that bad?
It's aggressive.
Okay.
When you speak, it feels like you're yelling at us.
I am yelling at you.
Oh, okay. Not sure why, but okay. Daniel Young, Mr. Hopalong, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, man.
Okay.
We, as a community, well, as a family, we are all off of work and school this week, so we're just hanging out and enjoying life. And unfortunately, I don't have a game Saturday, so it's kind of a relaxed few days. So it's kind of cool.
Well, that could be fortunate. You could be able to rehab and rehabilitate your mental and your physical personas if they're separate, which they probably are.
I think so. And they both need a little bit of rehabilitation, to be honest.
Right. And then you come back reinvigorated for week 7.
Yep. Is that what? Week 7?
That's crazy.
Surely you jest.
Nope. Please do not call me Shirley.
Golly, that's hard to believe, though.
Yeah. But I do think we have some really interesting plays lined up. Daniel, you're the closest thing we have to an expert on the passing game. So
yeah,
we'll be leaning fairly heavily upon you until the point in time when you start making statements that make no sense whatsoever.
And then you'll jump in at that point.
Yeah, and probably course correct.
Okay. Off to a hell of a start with Paragon, though. Although I'm not sure it was well applied, but I mean it was a good effort.
Seems to be perfectly applied from my perspective.
Just for everyone out there in the pure officiating universe, we are also struggling 2 minutes before, and I'm exaggerating just a hair, literally, to be perfectly honest, 20 minutes before this session started, our internet or whatever you call this webinar provider changed everything. So the controls are a little wonky. Our whatever you call this control panel is a little wonky. So apologies in advance for anything that may go a little crazy today. No one asked us what our opinion was. They just went ahead and changed everything. So that's what we're dealing with. I guess that was my excuse.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. Here's a layout tab, Brandon.
Yeah, I saw that, but I couldn't really get it to do anything.
Oh, okay. Cameras, small. How about that? Yeah, okay. Anyway, let's go. We're going to be heavy on polls today. And as if any of you read your email, which most of you probably don't, when we send out the registration email, we're gonna uncover the mystery of OPI. We're gonna solve everything today. So let's start with play number 1, and we're gonna start polling. We're evaluating the action by receiver A8. He's at the bottom of the screen.
That was a lofty goal for this session.
What was the goal? What lofty goal?
You said we're gonna reveal all of the mysteries of.
Oh, we're going to solve OPI for once and for all, Daniel.
Oh my gosh!
Yes.
All right, it's a lot of pressure.
No. A8 is at the bottom of the screen. We're evaluating his action. And then there are, what is that, 5 options that we can choose. I'm sure there's another one or other options, but we're just evaluating A8.
Quite a play to start with if we're gonna uncover all mysteries.
No, right? So maybe we should start with the definition of OPI: offensive pass interference.
Oh, okay. Now we're getting somewhere.
Right. That's about all I know about OPI, to be perfectly honest. DY, this is a pretty simple play, I would think, huh?
Oh. Yeah. Oh, I mean, I don't know. I feel like sometimes I'm the outlier on these.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
We'll see what the pure officiating community has to say as we move throughout and see the poll responses trickling in. Interesting action while we vote. If those of you who have finished voting, interesting action by the right tackle. We're seeing a lot of these snatching actions now. I think we need to really be comfortable evaluating this unnatural body mechanics of defenders basically face planting themselves into the ground as they rush the quarterback. That is not natural in any way, shape, or form. So we really need to do a better job, I think, of evaluating these snatches by, most of the time it's the tackles. The guards don't seem to do it. I don't know why.
No, they really don't. I don't know. You want to be careful too, but there's other techniques used that make it look like a snatch.
Yeah, the tomahawk in action.
To a tomahawk. Yeah, yep. I think we maybe spent half a play of one session on that before. Right. So it's a good idea. Maybe we'll canvas the Galaxy here and devote a few more plays to that.
What's bigger, Universe or Galaxy, Brandon? Because I think you just grew us a little bit.
I
don't know. I honestly don't know. Either you shrunk us
or
you grew us.
Milky Way Galaxy.
I don't know.
Is part of the universe. I meant Galaxy is a subset of the universe because.
But Galaxy might not be able to be a subset of a universe. That's my point.
Okay, I really wasn't worried about all that. I was just thinking about Snatch versus Tomahawk.
Somewhere right now, Michael Billick is probably sweating. Do physicists care about outer space?
Yeah,
it's probably just a subset of physicists that probably care about that kind of stuff.
I think it's called astronomy.
Are astronomers physicists? I guess that's my question.
No,
they got to be. How can they not be?
I don't know.
I mean, that's a lot of crazy stuff going on. So
it must be physics, right?
Yeah.
Probably need some help in the chat on that one. We learned something about the Earth and the speed of its rotation and how much it's off its axis and all that stuff. Maybe we need to learn if a universe is inside a galaxy or is a galaxy inside a universe. And what in the world just happened with I bet you Daniel Young was messing with it. Hey, this is what we'll do. We'll close the poll.
Okay. Oh my gosh.
Oh boy, how do we figure this out? Okay, 46% of us say it's not a foul for OPI because the defense initiated the contact. Okay. Which contact will be my question? I don't know, because it looks like we got multiple contacts and we got all kind of other stuff going on. Who knows?
You wrote the question.
Maybe the guy the guy that puts his arms around number 8. I don't know.
Okay. 23% of us say this was a foul for OPI. That's pretty straightforward. 15% of us say not a foul for OPI because A8 was attempting to run a route. And then we have a split with 8% of us saying it's a foul for OPI only if A80 was throwing the ball. And that's the dude that was crossing underneath. And then 8% of us say it became a foul for OPI once A8 hit B4.
Okay.
B4, B number 4, not BEFORE. And then, of course, in the pass crossed the neutral zone. So this is an interesting play because we got all kind of stuff. We got B15 doing something to A8. We got A8 kind of happy to be there and trying to run through B15, maybe almost. Then we got some contact with number 4. Then the pass comes whizzing right over all of that stuff. So Daniel Young, what are we doing here? What's going on? Help us out.
Let's just go let's segment it.
Yeah, let's do that.
So I think the first contact by B15, and maybe that's what, like Brandon said, what the poll answerers were referring to. I think B15 wants every bit of that. I think he is, while 18 is happy about it too, I think 15 moves into that contact. He wraps his arm around him. That action, in my opinion, does not rise to the level of the OPI. Like, I think he does initiate that.
Right. Let me ask you this, because this is something that's interesting to me. Okay, so B15 initiated that contact. Does A8, does he have to try to attempt to disengage from that? Or can he continue? Let's say he decides, you know what, since you initiated this contact, I'm going to drive block you. Can he drive block him, or does he still have to show us something that he's attempting to disengage or avoid the contact, even though the defender contacted him? Does that make sense?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, definitely. So I don't know that we need to see. So I don't know that the standard is overt action by A8 to get off of it.
Okay.
He certainly can't. It's a little bit unique, right? Because it can look very different depending on how it evolves. But at some point, he cannot continue to drive through the defender. He is responsible for that contact.
Right.
So even though the defender initiated it, at some point, I guess he has to do something to get off. But more importantly, we can't see him continue to drive through the defender. Okay, the defender has initiated this contact, so that buys you a little bit of time as a wide receiver, but it's not carte blanche to just go and just drive the DB all the way up into the first row of the stands.
Okay, see, I love that, and that was the reason. The reason I'm asking that is because we hear officials say that all the time, right? Oh, that's not a foul because the defender initiated contact. You can't put a period at the end of that statement. I think there needs to be something else that comes along with it beyond that. And the defender attempted to disengage, and the defender attempted to continue running his route, and something else. But I don't think we can just put a period and say, oh, the defense initiated contact, he's free to do anything.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
right.
good. I'm glad we're on the same page.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that's the principle you need to walk away with if you're kind of out there listening and you're just working through this like all of us are. Because I don't think we can give them Tuta as specific, like, well, he took 3 steps and there were still contact. Right. Too many, right? It's you just have to use your judgment and decide okay, defenders initiated. Now what does the offensive player do? And so maybe it is him trying to get off. I just don't like that, like as a standard. It's almost more the reverse is, well, is he continuing to drive through? Maybe a little gray in there, right? Where he's not like working super hard to get off of it. Like I don't see anything overt. Like he didn't swim or like try to like back up, but he's not really driving through him. He's just still running his route. You know what I mean? And so I think it look really different, but your point is super valid. It's not a free pass to now do whatever he wants.
Right. Okay, good. Yeah. All right. So that's, what is that? Subset number 1?
Yeah. And so then the tricky part is we see contact here by A8 into B4. And if we just look at it in isolation, excuse me, don't think about where the ball goes or anything like that. It kind of presents itself as a really traditional picking action, right? Just the contact. That's it.
Right.
Good with that?
Yeah.
So then I think we have to think about I think there's a couple outliers here that make this a really interesting play. And maybe I'm a little bit swayed already because I happened to be in a hotel room watching this play when it happened live, and I developed an opinion really quickly.
Me too.
Evaluating all the elements. You know how we do that sometimes when we're watching ball versus officiating it.
Yep.
So here's what we know. This is in the officiating standards. If a defender initiates that contact on a receiver and what I like to think about is it's significant enough to where that defender within the context of, or I'm sorry, that receiver within the context of his contact with another defender, if he doesn't have total freedom of movement, the purpose of the standard is that he's absolved of picking action. So it says something like, if he's in contact with a defender and then he gets into a pick situation, if we deem that contact is significant enough to where he kind of doesn't have, and maybe this is the Daniel Young version in my brain, have freedom of movement, well, then he's not really responsible for a pick.
Got you.
You with me on that? So
Yeah.
we see this really early. Like 15 has bodied up that receiver. Like
Yeah, big time.
him. What makes this really, really tricky, and again, we're not talking about anything else, just the context of this contact. What makes it tricky is he kind of lets him go an instant before the contact with B4. You see
Right.
that? Like
Yes.
he gets off of him. So then you have to ask yourself, and this is why OPI is so dang hard, because now you have to ask yourself, you have to exercise your judgment. Again, we're just talking about the context of that contact. Well, gosh, is he responsible for that? Or did he get moved into that because B15 initiated the contact and kind of rode him laterally for, however many yards and then let go right before he contacted B4? Yeah. And this is a really great angle right here. And so for my money, this contact right here, we see the left shoulder of A8 tilt up. He does not have total freedom of movement, in my opinion.
Right.
And even when he contacts B4, while now that contact by B15 is off, I still feel like it's enough to really not hold him responsible for his contact with B4. Even though everybody's going to say, look, this is what he wants to do. He's not running a route. And I had this very similar conversation in our crew development meeting last week. And all of that may be true, but the purpose of the officiating standard is Team A, the offensive player, is responsible for avoiding contact. The contact by the defender negates that responsibility. He doesn't have freedom of movement where he now has total autonomy. That's probably not the right word. Total freedom to just get rid, to avoid contact with B4. So that's where I'm at with that. Now, look, the second thing we have to consider is, okay, well, where is the ball thrown? Because that matters too. Because the guy that B4 is covering runs down here to the numbers around the 40-yard line. I think it's A9. Nope, sorry. It's the other guy, the wider guy. He's wide open, right?
Yes.
A80.
Number
right?
80.
Now,
yeah.
If the ball comes to him, this is a really that may change my opinion a little bit. I don't know. I still feel like he's not really responsible for that pick. With the ball going over the top of him, the guy that he picks, and I'm using air quotes even though you can't see me, isn't the guy that ends up getting sprung as a function of that pick. It's a totally different receiver. So, look, I mean, there's probably a lot of holes in all of that, but for me, I just like this better as not being OPI. So I'm welcome to hear alternative perspectives for sure.
So you said B4. So it sounds like you like the option if the ball was thrown to A80, then it will be a foul, or at least you'll be closer to considering it a foul for OPI.
Yes, I think I would still really argue that B15 is responsible, is
primarily responsible
for contacting the receiver enough to where I would buy him off that pick. But it'd be closer. I'd really have to be like, oh my gosh, A80 is wide the heck open. How did that happen? I don't know if I love this. And it's tough. Look, and if someone's prepared to really strenuously argue that I'm wrong because 15 lets go, that may be right. I don't know. That may be right. Like, it's tough. It's really tough.
Daniel, did you not read the production notes for today's session?
Yeah, no, I didn't read the production notes.
Okay.
That's why when you said solving all the mysteries,
that's what we're supposed to be doing here today.
That's super uncomfortable.
So let me ask you this question. Because the pass did not go to A80, it went to A9. Are you telling me that B4 had no reasonable opportunity to defend the pass that was thrown across the middle field to A9?
No. I'm not saying that.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not saying that.
So how does that change your opinion, whether they threw it to the crosser or threw it pretty much straight over B4's head?
Yeah, and this is why I think OPI is so hard. And I don't know, maybe we shouldn't do this, but I'm just going to tell you, again, officiating from the world of mind of Daniel Young, the only reason B4 is still there is because he got picked. He wants to follow A80 across the formation at this mesh point, in my opinion. Okay. And so the pick is really like we see him follow him is really relevant to that action. Like that, I just feel like that's where he wants to go. He ends up there because of the contact with AA. But you're right. It does impact his ability potentially to make a play on that pass. So that's reasonable.
Yeah. Okay.
What do you disagree with, Tuta?
I don't know what I disagree with. Because to be perfectly honest, I don't think this is a foul for OPI either. But I can't get on board with the fact that if we determine A8's contact into B4 was of his own volition, that we would not characterize this as OPI because the pass was thrown to number 9 instead of number 80. That's the part I just can't get on board with.
Yeah. I get it.
From an ignorant official's perspective, it's just way too much contact by the defense to, it's so much easier to hang our hat on that contact by the defense, creating all this, in my opinion.
Right. No, totally agree. Let me ask you a question, DY. Would we ever consider B15's action as defensive holding?
No, I wouldn't.
And because what?
Kind of the same reason that Brandon just answered. There's there's just like so much contact in there. I just don't see much restriction. I think he's doing exactly what he wants to do. Even though, and this is where this gets hard for us sometimes to wrap our head around. I think B8 wants that contact. I think he wants to jam up the middle of that mesh point, but it doesn't matter because B15 has willingly entered into a contract with A8 to engage him. And I don't feel like it's restrictive. I don't think he's stopping him from running his route. I just think we want to see more effort, which would result in more obvious restriction, in my opinion. I think it's more just a body. The arms wrap around him, but I don't think the arms in and of themselves are restrictive. I think he just kind of bodies him up.
Right. So ironically enough, if A8 tried harder, we could potentially have a foul for DH, and we could, had he tried harder, likely have put this contact on him, the OPI contact on him as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
But he did what he wanted to do. He just wanted to stay there and dance, and 15 wanted to dance with him as well. And I think everybody did what they wanted to do on this particular play. And it was successful by Team A.
This is just a bun.
Yeah, yes.
One of my favorite.
I hate that term, but I'm gonna let you explain it because you seem to love that term.
No, I don't. It's the first time I've ever said it.
No, you probably haven't. You probably sit around at night laughing and snickering to yourself.
Talking about buns.
Yeah.
I need to see the poll and the chat. I can't find it. That's why.
Big ugly nothing. It's
big
just
ugly nothing.
Big ugly nothing. I can't stand when people say it's just a bun, but it is. It's a bun.
Yeah. So Matthew's asking about, from a key standpoint, who would be evaluating this, and he's saying is this the side judge all the way? For me, I think this is really tough because we end up seeing a back flare out on like a wheel route, but I think that would be too dangerous for us as deep wings to shift our attention to the back on the wheel route when our initial key is cutting across the middle. Anytime our initial key is cutting across the middle, I think we really need to stay focused on it. So, yeah, I would love to see the deep wing work in this. I also would love to see, Daniel, where would the back judge be looking? Because the route is kind of interesting as well because they throw somebody deeper than A9. How do you read all this? This is trips at the top or a bunch at the top. I guess we're going to let them declare. Where are you working on this?
I think, excuse me. Who is that? You're right, man. That deep guy, what is that? Is that
I don't know what number he is, but he's coming straight at your face. He's coming straight.
Yeah,
at
I don't
Brandon
know.
Jacobs.
And he's threatened. He's threatened right there at the second level with the linebackers, and then he's threatened when he gets to the safety. So as a
Right.
back judge, I'm not sure how we don't officiate him,
Yes.
which is unfortunate because we're leaving all of this excitement to, we got our deep wing brother helping out, but then the line of scrimmage guys, and I just don't like that. It makes me
We got to have the line of scrimmage at the top working this action as well in the belt. Line of scrimmage at the bottom. I don't know how much of a look they would have. Maybe if they were very comfortable with the fact that number 7 wasn't totally pressed at the time all of this ugliness happened, they may have a look as well. But man, this is just a really interesting play with a lot of difficult decisions to be made.
You know what I think is really important too, Tom?
What's that?
Is that, did we say the side judge is at the bottom?
Yeah. This is the first
Is
half.
that the side judge has positive knowledge that B15 not only initiated this, but he put a body into him and really kind of that he's just able to say that, look, B15 bodied him up and created any and the contact with B4 is really interesting. I don't know, how it would feel live. But we need the side judge to be able to say that, right? Like that he initiated that and he rode him for a few steps.
Yeah, because like you're saying, if you get to it late after B15 lets A8 go and all you see is A8 run into number 4, man, that sure is looking like a big time pick to me, a blocking downfield.
Right.
Okay, well,
I'll take the unpopular opinion. I like the HL headline judge on the wheel, not on this.
yeah.
I know we say that we should have
That's the guy at the bottom.
Yeah,
Yes.
we should have 4 eyes on one thing and 3 eyes on another. It's just not realistic. I mean, somebody's coming over to cover the wheel. We got to have eyes on that. Side judge should take this guy into contact.
Yep. Why you say that's unpopular, Brandon? I think that's kind of popular.
No, because we keep it. What everybody says now is, well, he's not totally pressed. So until he's pressed, you should be watching this. Well, that's great when you can, stop video and everything. I just don't like that. I mean, the guy's coming out and he's going to be covered. We're gonna have a feeling that that's going to be a matchup to officiate.
Correct.
And somebody needs to be watching.
Yeah, Brandon, I think that's a great point. And that's the key is we have to have a sense, not just for kind of, what you said, our guys press or not, but like how the play is developing. We've got that trips bunch to the top, really tight too. That's a really good indicator when they're tight like that. We've just got to feel that mesh point coming together and know that we've got to have a lot of eyes on it because that is such a hard thing to officiate in the passing game. I mean, it just is. There's bodies flying everywhere, crossers. And I think that's the key for the side judge is just sensing because you got a wide view. We just said he's not pressed at the snap. So we've got some wide view. So we just need to feel that materializing and know we need to stay with that guy.
All right. Well, one play, 25 minutes, and I still don't know anything other than OPI is offensive pass interference.
That's not true. No.
What? Come on.
Let's
find out on play 2 then.
We worked through the concept of, when the defender initiates contact, it's not a free pass for the receiver to do whatever.
Okay.
However, in a lot of instances, we have to be cognizant of what that contact does. And in this case, when he's got a full, because here's the other thing we don't want to do. If 15 just has a left pinky fingernail on 8,
Right.
You don't want to say, oh, well, look, he was in contact. So now 8 has no responsibility for the contact with B4. That's not what we're saying. It's gotta be material enough to where we feel like it restricts his freedom of movement. That's what we see here. So that's why we feel like this is an OPI. We learned lots of things on this play.
Okay. I'm comfortable with that. I agree.
Okay. Good.
Okay. Wow. That was aggressive. You aggressively
I got excited. I did. I don't think
Yeah.
it was aggression. I think it was excitement.
Okay. Well, let's go to the next play. We got the poll loaded. Let's load up okay. We're looking at number 80. He's the number 1 receiver at the bottom of the screen. We only have a couple of views of this action. What we got here? Evaluate the action, choose the best option. Is it not a foul because the contact was incidental? Is it not a foul because AD tried to avoid the contact? What about, we just talked about the defense initiating contact. Or here's one. What about this contact was initiated within 1 yard of the line of scrimmage? Okay, whatever. This is a foul for OPI. I don't want to hear all of those excuses. This is a foul. So let's see what people think on this one.
Also evaluated this one in real time and came to a very quick opinion.
Yes, same game.
Well, then try not to take 25 minutes to explain it this time.
This
Oh,
guy's
wow.
such a jerk.
He really is.
Oh, sorry. I forgot we were live.
Well,
You probably thought you were still muted too, Brandon.
yeah, he was saying that to probably whatever
So
company.
I was telling Lily that right now. Yeah, that's right. We're getting ready for softball practice.
Yeah, but Lily understands process better than you do, so she's okay with it.
She does, actually. She reminds me that we have daily talks. She helps me out.
Good.
Yeah,
I have a feeling that you're not initiating these daily talks either.
you're right. You're 1,000% right on that. She is uncommon.
She's in control.
She's awesome.
Oh yeah.
How are we looking here?
A couple more seconds. We'll let a few more people. I noticed some people are really reticent to throw themselves out there and give their opinion. Hey, by the way, out there in Pure Officiating Universe land, we don't know particular individuals what your vote is. So if you're concerned,
Nor care.
you're gonna think I don't. Yeah, exactly. That was the other thing, DY, and nor care. It's just a way of engaging and just trying to get the pulse of the universe.
We literally don't even determine like it's correct answers. I mean, it's not even a thing. It's just
Exactly.
like conversation and process.
Right. Yeah, definitely no scoreboard involved. All right, I'm gonna end it. I'm gonna close it. Here's the deal. Whoa. Where's the poll? Oh, I think I closed the wrong one. Okay,
What?
there we go. That was
Yeah,
weird.
what's going on here?
I have no idea.
Oh, I see
I
it
see
now.
it.
Okay. This one is fairly straightforward. 65% of us say this is a foul for OPI. 29% of us say that's some wonky math. No, it's not. That's right. 29% of us say it's not a foul for OPI because the contact was initiated within 1 yard of the line of scrimmage. And 6% of us say it's not a foul for OPI because the defense initiated the contact. What do you see here, DY?
Let's talk about the 6% first and foremost.
Yes.
So, look, we need to be really careful when we talk about this concept of a defense initiating the contact because, and I feel like we've maybe gone just in general a little bit too far this way and forgotten the really foundational principle that the offense is responsible for avoiding contact. So a defender turning and running into a receiver doesn't necessarily make him responsible for the contact. When we're talking about it or initiating the contact, when we're talking about a defender initiating contact, we're really thinking about a defender who is guarding a particular receiver and him moving into him, not a defender who is guarding a different receiver and running into a secondary receiver. Does that make sense? The difference?
Yes. Yes,
So,
absolutely.
in those cases, if I'm covering Tuta, which would be so easy, and I run over Brandon,
That would
because-
be easy, but
Yeah, it
covering
would
me
also
would
be
probably be
easy.
a bad idea. That would be poor coaching on whoever.
if
coaches.
I'm on defense and those two guys are on offense, I run over or run into a second receiver, he's responsible for that contact. I may, like, in your mind be the one that hit him, like, and like, who knows how you even parse that out, but it doesn't matter because his obligation is to avoid contact with me. I think it's much healthier for us to think about initiating contact when we're talking about a defender on top of a particular receiver, right? Like, he's guarding this guy, he chucks him because that's what defenses want to do. They want to make receivers uncomfortable. They want to create contact. They want to body them. That's what we're talking about with the defender initiating contact. When we're talking about a different defender running into a receiver, the receiver's ultimately responsible for avoiding that collision. You agree with that?
Yeah, and I think maybe to throw a term in there, we need to see intentional initiation by the defender. Just like a block is
helpful.
Intentional. When
Yeah,
you
I like
initiate,
that.
when we initiate contact, it needs to be intentional. You can see this dude from the end zone angle behind the offense. You can see he has no idea that he's about to run into this receiver. So yeah, maybe he hit the receiver before the receiver hit him, but he didn't intentionally contact this receiver. So I don't think. And I love what you're saying. I don't think we can buy the receiver off for the defense contacting him first.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so that's the 6% that says this isn't OPI because the defender initiated contact. We collectively are not on board with that. Okay,
No.
So then look, the other piece of the 29% that it's not OPI because the contact was initiated within 1 yard. Absolutely correct. The contact was initiated within 1 yard. That, by rule, it has to be beyond a yard, right? Or is that by standard?
No. I think that could be by philosophy. Definitely not by rule.
That's by standard. Yeah, you're right. That's a standard that we have.
Well, I don't know if that's a standard either, DY. I think that could be a philosophy by depending on where you are, even though now we're one CFO.
No. That's an articulated officiating standard when we're talking about pick plays. If the pick occurs within 1 yard of the line of scrimmage, there's no foul for OPI. Somebody check me on that, but that's where I'm at.
I'm going to check you. Where's the standards, by the way?
They're in between the FR and the AR.
Yeah.
Hang on a second. It's just beyond the line, which is interpreted to be 1 yard.
Well, the rule is clearly beyond.
That's the rule.
That's what I'm saying.
Correct. So now we got to get into the standard. What Daniel's saying is the standard teaches us 1 yard.
I don't know if it's quantified, but
it may not be.
I'm not
sure. That's why we're looking.
I don't like that either, but where offensive pass interference, this is section 5. I'm on FO-2.
FO.
We used to have an FO. Initiating contact with defender by shoving, pushing off, blah, blah, blah. Driving through, blocking downfield during a pass that legally crosses the line of scrimmage, picking off a defender who is attempting to cover a receiver. Not OPI is blocking downfield, legally grounding the ball. That's not it. Screen pass, that's not it. Pick play is not offensive pass interference if the defensive player is blocking the offensive player when the pick occurs.
Okay,
and the defense and the offensive player doesn't make a separate action. Or if the blocker's entire body is clearly not beyond the neutral zone. So 1 yard is not, that's a fairy tale.
Oh, there you go. This is awesome.
Yes. 1 yard is a fairy tale.
It is a fairy tale. And we dispelled that fairy tale.
But it's helpful. It's helpful. 1 yard is helpful in interpreting that last thing you read, I believe.
Yes, clearly beyond the neutral zone. The offensive player's body must be clearly beyond the neutral zone.
Yeah.
Which a yard pretty much would make them be clearly beyond the neutral zone.
And so just like all of the officiating standards, it's not intended for us to be a crutch to not accurately officiate the action we're presented with. Right. It's intended to give us freedom when there's doubt, when we're just not sure, when we think, man, 80's left foot may have still been in the neutral zone when he created this contact. That's what the officiating standard exists for, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, that was fantastic. And that was in no way intentional. I genuinely thought the standard was for a yard. So when we look at this contact, then do we feel like his whole body is beyond the neutral zone when he contacts the defender?
Well, let me ask you this. I want to take it a step further, and maybe you want me to stay on step 1 before we go to step 2. But do we stop at the initial contact, or do we evaluate the entirety of the contact?
Yeah. So yes, I wanted you to stay on step 1.
Okay, I'll stay on step 1.
Not to read your pre-production notes.
I do think his body is clearly beyond the neutral zone when he initiated this contact.
I do too. I think it's right at 1 yard.
Yes.
But I think it's in real time with one chance at it. I mean, I don't know.
I think Brandon, that especially as a deep official, that's really, really tough.
There's no way you can know that.
Exactly.
The only person who would know is the line of scrimmage official right there. And they may not even be looking there.
Yeah, that's right. And so we lean on line of scrimmage. I don't know if any of our players are going to help us get into the other fairy tale we dispelled years ago relative to where the ball is. First touch. Well,
exactly.
And we lean on them.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
This is why the whole 1 yard thing has become the fairy tale, but it's very, very applicable and relevant.
Absolutely. And we rely on them for help with that ball situation because they're primarily responsible for it. In a situation like this, they may not have context for where our receiver key initiated contact. They may. That's great.
Think they have a chance. Yeah, I don't think they have a chance.
I don't either. I think we're really going to be kind of working this on our own as the deep wing here. And what I would say is, and we can talk about, evaluating it on video versus officiating it in real time. If you're not sure that this is beyond the neutral zone, we would just prefer it not be a flag.
Correct.
Exactly.
We can't make up fouls. We just can't make up fouls.
Yeah.
So Tutai, I feel like you would see the defender's feet inside the big line. And I'm just wondering if I don't know how. I'd love to know how you guys do this, or how, in your case, did this. Like that big line's not really that important in this play, but it is 2 yards downfield, not 1. The defender's inside the big line, so maybe that's at what. I don't know, man. I just see a lot of indecision being created.
So I'll tell you this, because we haven't gotten to step 2 yet. The initial contact is way too close for me as a downfield official, which I was in my former life, to be able to throw a flag for offensive pass interference. It's way too close to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah. Yep. And I'm totally on board with that. So then the spoiler alert that Tuta already ran through is, okay, so we've got initial contact. And now what? What happens after that, right? Because we see A80 collisions the defender and then continues to move upfield. So we have a decision to make about that. And it's really tough. It's really tough. We talked about the receiver trying to get off of contact when the defender initiates that, right? So like if we don't feel that way, but if we did feel like where the defender initiated contact with A80, the next step is, gosh, okay, now is A80 just happy to be there? And does he do something else? Or is he trying to get away from that and get into his route? In a situation like this, check me if you guys think differently, where the offensive player initiated the contact, we have less of a decision to make. If he initiated this contact and he continues with contact that interferes with the defender's opportunity to play defense, I think he's responsible for it. Right. And I don't think that's a big stretch where we're having to decide like, oh gosh, is he driving through or is he trying to get off? He's the one responsible for that contact, and he continues to screen the defender upfield. I'm not a big fan of that.
I don't think the rules are a big fan of that. I really do appreciate your opinion, but your opinion is less important to me than I do. But the rules are probably more important to me, and I don't think the rules care for that either. But I do appreciate your opinion. I really do.
That was very patronizing and demeaning. But that's par for the course. So I'm sure Dan, you didn't.
I'm comfortable with that. Yeah, that's kind of just a part of our relationship.
I just there's just always really good opportunities, you know.
Okay. So it sounds like DY that we're on the side of the 65% that we think this is a foul for offensive pass interference, because although the initial contact was maybe a little too suspect from a distance downfield standpoint, the continued action of the receiver after the initial contact showed us that he made no attempt to do anything except continue to shield and block the defender. Yes, no? Am I talking?
That's where I'm at. Yep,
Okay,
absolutely. I'd love to hear your breakdown.
That's all I got. I got the same thing you got. I'm me too in your evaluation. Mr. Cruz, do you have anything on this play before we go to play number 3?
No, it's such a good play for all the reasons we talked about. You can apply the officiating standard for the initial contact, but then Daniel's opinion that the rules, the guy's got to work to avoid blocking downfield.
Right.
Right? He didn't show us anything that he avoided it.
Nothing.
You know, I mean, are you? And you're like, well, could that defender really have intercepted the pass or defended the?
Irrelevant.
Don't care.
Don't care.
Don't care. It's on the offense. So I just think it's a great job breaking the play down. The play is a great example of a lot of different concepts.
Right.
I mean, we really are forging the, what did you call it? Mission Impossible OPI or something like that. I don't know what you called it. I think I just came up with a better term, but
no, we're solving a mystery.
I like Mission Impossible OPI. I think that's pretty good.
That's fine. Let's make a poster then.
Let's do it.
All right. We're not done. We're looking at number 85. He's the tight end at the bottom. He's a tight end by position. I was corrected by someone who's very particular, because the tight end is covered up.
That person probably meant he's normally a tight end, but in this play, he's not a tight end. That's
correct. I'm not sure what
meant.
Yeah, I don't know how much value that added to the discussion. But number 85, that's what we're looking at.
Yeah, I think.
Do you know what an end is, by the way? In football? Do you know what that means? Just a quick. I don't know what conversation you had with this anonymous person, but
when I wasn't playing left bench in high school, I was playing tight end. On the roster, I was listed as a tight end. So yes, I do know what an end is. That means there's no other person on the line of scrimmage.
Thank you.
No.
Okay, move on.
He's still a tight end.
Exactly.
Yeah, he's still a tight end. You just have an over formation. You would call it like X over.
This player in this particular play is not a tight end.
Okay, can we just
he's an interior? He's an ineligible interior lineman.
Let's evaluate his action, please. And you halfway are starting to get into the discussion, Mr. Cruz. By
no, I'm just trying to tell you how players are, positioned by, I don't know, the rules.
I think I'm gonna pull up UCF's roster and see what number 85 is listed as. That's what I might do.
He's going to be listed as a tight end.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Oh, all right. Okay. What about this?
Okay.
If we just want to just keep going on this, since you decided to prolong it.
Goodness.
If number 30 lines up as a right guard on the punt team, what is he? He's a right guard. Like, what is he? Is he a defensive back? What is he? Thank you. Just keep going on the poll, please.
That's a silly distinction.
By silly, you mean perfect? Thank you.
Do you know what OPI is, by the way, Brandon Cruz?
Mission Impossible. I'm figuring it out. I am going to have shirts made, by the way. I just ordered them.
Wow.
Shirts for what?
This ridiculous new concept that he came up with.
OPI Mission Impossible. That is beautiful, DY.
Well,
Did
are
you
you
talk
gonna
to
sell
Tom
them or
Cruise
just
about
sell
that?
Well, that's all in the family, my friend.
Okay. I think a lot of people don't want to vote on this one. The people are scared of this one.
Probably because you did a poor job of introducing the play by getting caught up on the position of that player.
Everybody knows what a tight end is. I mean, come on. Whether he lines up in the wingback position, on the line, off the line,
Oh
he's the
my
tight end.
gosh.
We know he's the tight end, number 85. Which, by the way, that's the number young Salam wore while he was sitting on a bench, picking splinters out his butt, making Gatorade, tripping people.
Did you have
on
to
the
make the
sideline.
Gatorade? How do you do that?
That's. I was actually on the
Shoot.
sideline acting stupid and annoying coaches and annoying
4
everyone.
cups of powder or 3 cups? Like, what do you put in there? And then, like, do you use a big wooden spoon to stir that stuff or what?
No, it's
When do
just
you add the
stick a hose
ice?
pipe in there. That's all you. That's all you do.
Hose? Just throw the hose in there?
Yeah.
Okay.
We didn't have Gatorade 90% of the time anyway. All we had was nasty
You
water.
need, Gatorade,
full of lead.
Gatorade down there, man. That's humidity. That humidity is no joke.
Yeah, that's true.
It is not.
And that's why I refuse to live back down there. I'm done. Catch me
Wow.
somewhere without humidity.
Wow.
You're there now.
Okay.
Here we go. I'm shutting it down. Everybody who's scared, I'm sorry.
Man, wow.
Oh, here we go. Nice split. 40% of us say not a foul for OPI because the block was close to the line of scrimmage. I have no idea what close means. If someone can help me with close.
Well, we were a little bit educated on that last play.
Nope. We use very specific terminology. Close is not very specific. It's quite objective. It's not subjective at all.
I think it's the other way around.
Oh, subjective. It's not objective.
Yeah.
I never understand those two.
Yeah, we can tell. It's okay though.
It's okay.
27%.
You
of us
might
say-
solve OPI, but you're objective
I'll
versus
take this on, that
Okay, I'm sorry. I'll quit.
is. 27% say technically this is a foul for OPI, but we probably shouldn't throw the flag on it. Okay. 20% of us say it's not a foul for OPI because the defense initiated the contact. If I hear it, I'm going to break my computer if one more person votes for that. I swear.
So please, somebody post that to watch you break your computer for somebody else's.
God.
Yeah.
13% of us say this was a foul for OPI and it needs to be flagged. So at least 40% of us say the action itself was OPI. But then of the 40% of us, it looks like we're kind of split whether we should throw the flag, whether we shouldn't. Brother Daniel, can you help us out on this particular play? And is there some trickiness and nuance on this one?
Oh my gosh, for sure. All of these plays are, I think, new. OPI, I don't know. I don't want to be absolute. OPI may be one of the most,
it's
if
a
not
mystery.
the most, it's one of the most nuanced calls that we have.
Yeah, and nobody knows who it is. It's like the abominable snowman, and what's that other dude that people talk about that walks around? The big old dude, the hairy dude? Sasquatch. Yeah,
Loch
That-
Ness.
Loch Ness monster. What else? What else we got?
I don't know. That's probably sufficient, I think, for the illustration.
Yeah, we got it.
So what's the deal with offensive linemen? Let's just say that.
You mean originally ineligible players? I hate to be Brandon Cruz here and be all technical, but originally
Yes.
ineligible players is what you mean?
Yes. No, that's better for sure.
Yeah.
So what's the deal with originally ineligible players? What can they do? What can they not do? There's two things, right?
Yeah. And Matthew Carpenter kind of pointed us in that direction earlier.
Oh, nice.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
FR 82. I'm on my way. Excuse me.
Okay. I'll start working through it as you get there, and then you can correct my multiple inaccuracies. So when an originally ineligible player contacts a defender within 1 yard of the line of scrimmage, he has some leeway.
Yes.
He can drive him up to 3 yards, right?
Mm-hmm.
If that's not the case, if the contact doesn't happen at the line of scrimmage, well, he can't contact, anybody beyond the neutral zone.
Mm-hmm.
How am I doing so far?
You're doing well, but let's make the key distinction. The player has to immediately charge and contact a player not more than 1 yard beyond the line of scrimmage. So go ahead, continue.
Okay, no, that's helpful. So immediately charge and contact a defender not more than 1 yard. So, the language our rules book chooses to use is always interesting to me. All that means is they're within a yard of the line of scrimmage. He immediately contacts him. He has the freedom to drive him up to 3 yards and it not be a foul for pass interference, offensive pass interference. You good there?
So, well, this is what I would like to do. The dude to the left of number 85, who we won't call a tight end because the gentleman from Phoenix, may get all, in a tizzy. The right tackle, which I don't know if I can call him a tackle because there's another player covering him up. I don't know. Ask the gentleman from Phoenix. The right tackle, let's look at what he does and then look at what number 85 does. And are they the same actions? Do we consider those two actions to be the same? Let me ask you that, DY.
That's a great point. No. So 75 action. Did we say 75 or did I just make that up? Because
you made that up, but that's cool. Most right tackles.
I really stereotyped right tackles, man. That's not cool. Yeah. He could be number 70 anything. Who knows?
Right. He could be number 50 something too as well, although that's very rare.
Yeah, no, that doesn't happen.
No.
His action is exactly what you're talking about. He contacts a defender immediately within 1 yard of the line of scrimmage. And I don't know how far he drives him, but that's the kind of action where he can take him up to 3 yards and it not be considered OPI.
Yep. And I think the rule is very clear on that.
Very clear. Yep. That's pretty objective. Black and white. All right. So then there's another category, and that's the other part where I guess it's really just one category. Otherwise, you can't contact him beyond the neutral zone. Or does it say 1 yard?
We just learned that it's clearly beyond the neutral zone on the last play. I don't know where you were on the last play. But
no, I was here. I think I initiated that whole conversation by incorrectly stating the standard. So if that's not the case, he can't go and contact a defender beyond the neutral zone. Okay. Right. So clearly B2 as a linebacker steps up the tight end. I'm just going to say it. I don't care what the Phoenix from the dude from South Dakota says. Steps up and contacts the linebacker. It's beyond the neutral zone. That's not within 1 yard. That's not the immediate thing. He steps up and they contact each other. So from a very technical perspective, this meets the standard of OPI.
Correct.
You on board with that?
I'm all on board with that.
Okay, fantastic. And look, this is going to be interesting. My perspective, I don't know where you guys are going to be. It may be different because we've talked a lot about these RPOs and how when an offensive lineman leaks out to the second level and blocks a linebacker, it is a huge advantage.
Right.
But when we watch this play, here's what I see. I see B2 all over this play action fake and him stepping up to engage both A85, and I think he wants a piece of A82 also, and he just ends up getting hit by A85 first. Man, I just don't like this as OPI. I don't think there's any part of him that is interested in defending a pass play.
So him jumping up and throwing his arm in the air, what was he doing there, DY?
Well, that's after the fact. Like he's made his decision to be engaged there at not the line of scrimmage, maybe a yard and a half beyond. But he buys into that play action and he wants that contact, in my opinion.
So without the contact from A85, which we've established is by rule illegal, would B2 have had any opportunity to defend this pass, a reasonable opportunity to defend the pass without that contact?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. All right. I'm just asking. I didn't give my opinion yet. That's just asking.
No, I think it's a great question. Like we've got to, that's a part of it. That's a part of it. I hear you.
Golly. I don't know what OPI is. I'm going to be honest.
Nobody does. Here's what you do. You just continue to pray and hope that you don't have any close OPI plays in your game. That's really all.
Well, one of us was evaluating some video as they were attempting to prepare for a game this weekend, and this kind of jumped out. But I don't know the answer here. So of the options that the poll writer gave, DY, which one do you like the best? You like this wasn't big enough?
This wasn't big enough. That's right.
I would have really broke my computer if somebody wrote that. I would have just punched the screen.
Man, I just feel like this isn't him going. I know it's beyond 1 yard, and that's
All right.
the technical standard. I just
Okay.
don't feel like he's going to get this linebacker at the second level. I feel like the linebacker steps up and wants to be a piece of this contact. The play action is a part of the game, right? And this
Yeah.
play action sucks him up, and I feel like that's what puts him in that space. I know it's beyond 1 yard, and he's not supposed to be contacted. I'm not. And look, I think I've called over the years numerous fouls on B2. Like, he commits a ton of fouls. So I don't know if that's weighing into my opinion or not. But I just okay. Wait, let me say. Here's what I say. You asked me a specific question. I'm going to give you a specific answer. I would say technically a foul for OPI, but we should not flag it. That's where I'm at.
You like the 27%. Okay,
I'm
Cruz,
with
where you at?
27%.
Where you at with this?
I wish this was. Are you hearing me?
Yeah.
Okay, I had some issues, obviously.
Mobile studio.
Mobile studio. I wish this isn't anything that anybody wants to call. So I don't know why. I guess why maybe I don't know. Daniel's a little bit different than most people. Most people just say we're not calling this and stop there. So at least he gave a reason. Ball goes right over. Ball puts a stripe on his helmet,
I know.
basically.
Yeah.
And I don't know. You can't block more than, I was going to say a yard, but we know that's not true. You can't block beyond the neutral zone. So he didn't start on the line. Clearly they want him to step up, which he does. The play action fake executed what they want from him. And then they double down with an illegal action by blocking him. So I don't know, man. But I get it. We're not calling this. Like, we're not.
I don't. Man, maybe I'm more A. It's not a foul because the block was close to the line of scrimmage.
Well, that's what
Because
what most people are saying
maybe that's where I'm
Really?
at.
or
Like,
inferring.
if
They're
it's a
not
half
saying that,
yard,
they're
I just
But that's not based in rule. How's that based in rule? How do you get that into
it's
the
not.
rule?
It's not at all. But everything I just said wasn't really based in the rule.
I don't know.
By rule, this is a foul. This is a foul by rule.
Right.
Period.
A lot of people will say still that he's less than 3.
I
And
know.
so and it just drives us nuts,
Oh,
right?
I will-
Because
yeah.
it's like that's like I said, I was an ignorant OPI rules guy or whatever I said. That's just incorrect. OPI
Yeah,
rules,
that's just
and
overtly
so
wrong.
I guess it would be great if I would offer that, maybe they should just change the rule because this isn't going to be called. Everybody's doing this by now. We've been talking about it for like 4 years now, I think. So
No, but this one was interesting because it's a tight end doing it.
it's not
Which-
a tight end.
All right, here we go with this crap again. Okay, he's not a tight end. Technically, by alignment, he's not a tight end. But we know
he's
he's
a
a tight
lineman. I mean, he's a lineman and he blocks a linebacker. But I mean, here's your point, though. I do like the point because he got number 85 on his jersey.
Yes.
So we would be we would be less surprised if this was called or wanting to call this because of the number on his jersey. The rule doesn't care about that, which is really my point, right? The
Right.
rule doesn't care the number on his jersey. He's a lineman. He can't block clearly beyond the neutral zone,
Right.
when the pass is blah, blah, blah. All other conditions are met. So I don't know. I mean, they play action fake is part of the game. It sucks the linebacker up. Then he just basically clamps him. I mean, he just basically takes this guy out of the play by blocking him. So
Right.
I thought they did that with the play action fake. I'm not sure why they got to do more illegal activity to do more of it, but they did.
You're
So.
so judgy. I mean, gosh.
Judge you by what?
Just your language. It's so judgy. I don't know why they have to do more illegal activity. That's the only illegal activity. So it's not more. It's just illegal activity.
That's true. You're right. I agree with you. But
Uh,
Okay. Okay, it's a
It's
foul.
kind of
It's a foul.
So we just don't. We
Look,
still don't
it's
know.
just a
Right?
loophole, man,
Look,
that everybody's doing
No,
that nobody's calling.
look, we've looked at a ton of. I say a ton. We have looked at a number of these plays over the years,
Well, we gave up for a while.
and they are fouls. I don't know why this one felt different to me.
I know.
I'm hearing you guys talk. It's a foul. It's a foul. He throws it right over his head. He throws it right over.
the
His,
dude's
Literally right over his head. Like we're
he
not.
throws it right over his head.
head. Directly over the dude's head.
I mean,
But do I? You know what? I'm with the 27% and with you, so I don't know how many percentage points that.
what does that
adds.
mean? What did they say?
It's technically a
Technically,
foul
but
for
we're not
OPI, but
calling
we
it?
should not
Yeah.
flag. I just don't want to throw this flag. I don't like
Nobody
this.
who does.
I don't want to throw this flag, but it's a foul. This
Yeah.
But
this is
there's
doggone
a
foul.
lot of these. Why is that, Tutak? Because I'm
I
with
don't
you, but
know.
there's a lot of these we watch that I want to throw. I'm like, ooh, I want that.
No.
I wish that would happen in my game.
Yeah, I don't know what the difference is. It's the same thing.
I don't.
Maybe because he's not a tight end. Oh God,
This is a great play. Great play.
I know.
would it be nicer? I don't know why I said nice. I'm just trying to be a kinder, gentler human. So, would we want this more if the receiver kind of cut closer to it?
I don't think so.
I mean, he's like 8 yards away from it.
I don't think the distance has any impact on my personal perception of
Okay.
why I like this or don't like this. Because the pass goes straight over the dude's head. I don't care what
Yeah.
the receiver is. This is clearly
Gosh.
impacting a defender that is in the passing lane. I don't think anyone can argue
funny.
that.
If this normal tight end drug across the formation and then block this guy on a drag route,
Right.
we'd want 8 flags
Yeah, exactly.
in
Yeah.
the same exact area.
Yes.
So I don't know. I don't know what the difference is.
All right. Well, there's the mystery. We solved it.
Mission Impossible.
No, we solved
gonna-
this
I'm
mystery.
I'm gonna keep going on that.
Yeah, you probably should stop. I'm gonna be honest.
Somebody make this call, and then Mission Impossible will be achieved. I don't know what the deal is.
We want to do some visual mechanics.
Yeah, hopefully we're done with OPI.
I think, we gave up on trying to solve the mystery. Where are we looking?
Oh, well, oh, there's a poll. Duh.
Where are
I
we
was
looking?
like, I'll tell you where I'm looking. Oh, we're doing this again. I love this.
Oh yeah,
I love how we can do this now.
I know.
We probably could have
call it
always done it.
multi-poll. No, we could not have had it before.
Ooh,
Yeah, I know. I coined that.
multi-poll.
I coined that one just now.
Really?
Much better than Mission Impossible crap that you came up with.
Put a T-shirt out that says multi-poll, and I'll put a T-shirt out that says Mission Impossible OPI, and I bet you I'll sell at least one more than you because you're going to sell 0, and I'll probably sell 1.
First of all, I don't know if you know or not. I have 4 children. You have 3 children, so
Yeah,
the odds are I would
Oh.
sell one more T-shirt than you.
you be buying them all.
That's okay.
Those children ain't spending any money on that
That's true.
multi-poll. What, really? Actually, they do support you. I am surprised at how much they support you.
No, you're
It's
not
pretty
surprised at
impressive.
that. No,
I'm very
you're not
surprised.
at that. DY, you're a back judge, aren't you?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sure interested to know where you're going to be looking on this particular play. Brandon will be looking at number 0 as a center judge. I know that for a fact.
As a center judge,
Yeah.
never know. Somebody might jump over there real quick and grab a face mask or something. Big on little. Sorry. I don't know what to pick on one of these polls, honestly.
I know. It's tough, ain't it?
Yeah. I'm trying to work through it. Okay.
We need a sound effect for multi-poll.
Ooh, yeah.
I think it should be the Mission Impossible theme song.
I thought that was for OPI.
Just to
So you just
Just-
go throw
just-
Mission
I
Impossible
was
all over
just-
everything.
I was just trying to close the loop a little bit here, make a little cohesiveness in the crew.
Okay.
I think my
Uh,
answers are wrong, honestly.
This is interesting. Poll 3 has more responses than poll 1.
Really? Maybe it's on top or something. Like because you probably opened them
no.
last in, first out. Have you ever heard of that?
Yeah, I have. I think people get nervous on this deal, on this platform. I noticed.
It's kind of nerve wracking, honestly.
Man, it's
I'm
like,
trying to-
man, what if I picked the wrong thing?
I don't know. I don't know why that would even. Have they heard the conversation tonight? That is true. We've got everybody's just skipping to poll 3.
I know.
A bunch of back judges.
Maybe there's Daniel voting 100 times.
I don't think you can do that.
I don't either.
No, definitely can't. I've restricted that. Can't do it.
You should restrict the way this module is presented. I mean, you know what's funny right now? The video is about the smallest thing on my screen. Like,
I know.
how did that happen?
Exactly. What is the problem?
Golly.
This is a
I mean,
webinar.
Do they not understand the meaning of user whatever training or acceptance or whatever that's called?
Well,
You
the
probably do
interesting
that.
thing is we should be able to close all these different panels, but
Did you figure it out?
I just closed the host panel on the side. I can't close the one on the bottom though. If I could close the
Okay.
one on the bottom, I'll be cooking with fire, gas, whatever we cook with.
Well, I just don't. I don't care about the host thing. I'd like to see the chat and the polls, quite frankly.
Right, and the
But
video.
even if I do that, well, yeah, the video is kind of important too. Even if I do the chat, the video doesn't change size.
It doesn't.
It
You're
just
right.
kind of moves around weirdly.
That's
So I don't know how that's. I don't know what that's doing for me.
something.
Now I really messed something up because
No,
my
I think
video
I
is all
did that.
distorted.
I did that on a mistake. I tried to drag the line. Well, whatever. Okay, let's
We
start
might have to
closing these
reload
deals
the
up.
video, man.
No. My video is fine.
Okay, I got like half a black screen in mine. There we go. Sorry.
I think people are scared, so I'm just gonna put them out of
That's
their
okay.
misery. Close,
That's all right.
close,
Yeah.
close.
Whatever.
Okay. Is your video frozen, Brandon?
Yeah, it sure is.
Okay, that's good. Anyway, it's frozen at the right time. So,
Exactly.
when the video stops, where should the line of scrimmage official be looking? 67% of us say they should be looking at number 1. 33% of us say they should be looking at area number 2.
Okay.
Do we want to go through the poll, all 3 polls first?
Well,
or
I
just-
think. Well, yeah, because look at the back judge votes.
Yeah.
See, that's
So-
interesting.
When the video stops, where should the deep wing be looking? 83% of us say number 3. And then we
Okay.
have 8% of us are split between 1 and 2. I can see why, honestly, because of engagement. But to me, I think 2 and 3, those players are really close together. And
Wow.
they could be contacting each other within a half of a millisecond. I would not want to be jumping
Where
all
did-
the way down to 1.
And we know
3
3 started super pressed. 2
Yes.
didn't, so
Yes. So then when the video stops, where should the back judge be looking? 65% of us say at number 1, and then 35% of us say at number 2.
yeah, I don't know. Wow. I don't know, man. This is really interesting.
Yeah, line of scrimmage. I think, and we talked about this at camp. Just
Yeah.
from a natural visual cone or visual perspective, it's more natural to look straight forward than to turn and look at something towards the side. So I think it would be way more unnatural if the line of scrimmage official was working the areas number 2 or 3, and area number 1 is the most impactful block at the time when this play stopped, and it's right in the line of scrimmage official's line of sight. I would love for them to work area number 1.
Okay, so now what I'm hearing you say, I think, is that there's enough time here for them to get this read as a run play.
Yeah.
Because I believe it's a shotgun with a trips wide formation.
Yes.
Okay. So I think it's an important concept. I mean,
Well, if they can't know it's a run play by the time this dude took 15
Well,
steps with the ball in his hand,
I know, but I do think we've said too that line of scrimmage should feel comfortable taking their receiver key all the way down the field. In other words, if the quarterback was standing back at, let's say, the 15-yard line with the ball in his hand, and we did the same exercise.
Oh, I'd want the line of scrimmage official to be all over. What was that, area number 1? Still, because that was trip. Then let's look at the formation. Let's start with the formation.
Maybe I'm not understanding the mechanics anymore. I thought this was trips wide.
It was.
Back judge has 3 line of scrimmage.
Oh, you're right. This dude is not tight. I was thinking this dude was tight. Okay, back judge has number 3. Line of scrimmage has number, and I'm circling with my mouse, and probably nobody can see it. But
I don't think anybody can see that.
Yeah.
So obviously, I'm talking out of school. We have an expert here. All I'm trying to do is differentiate between the expectations when you're officiating a run play versus a pass play.
Correct. And I think once we read run, obviously we know we're going to zone. If this was a pass play, you're right, Brandon. I think we would want to have the line of scrimmage official at area number 2. If this was a pass play, like you mentioned with the
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. We don't even have to say we think. That's categorical.
Yes. But I think we can really quickly read this as a run. I would hope that we could read this as a run. And if that's the case, we need to go zone.
Yeah. And in that case, we're at number 1 from the line of scrimmage.
Yes.
That's a block. That's the point of attack.
That's the point of attack.
That really is the point of attack.
There's no other impactful block at that time.
There's nothing. Nothing going on, right?
Right.
I mean, there's nothing going on. I mean, it's so easy to stop the video and think how easy this is, right? But I mean, it's just, there's nothing going on.
Right.
Okay.
All right. So, and we talked about the deep wing. We would love for the deep wing to stay with their original initial key because of the press situation and the fact that it's kind of close. I can understand why somebody would want to get froggy and jump down to the engagement at number 1, but that's really dangerous in my opinion. I think we need to trust that there's other officials on the field that will be able to work that action.
I mean, is that what the conversations you're having, DY? Even if it's a long developing run play, I'm not sure. Yeah.
What conversation are you
I
talking
don't know
about?
if you talk to your fellow officials ever or not, but just like, I know this is a long developing run play, and we want deep wings getting more involved in blocking actions, but like this is press coverage and the guy just runs a basic, fly route or whatever you want to call it.
Oh yeah, no, I think this is right in their wheelhouse. I mean, they're meatheads. They got their one guy they get to stay on him. I think they're very comfortable. I'm kidding. That's not how I really think. But no, I think they're really comfortable with that. I don't think you would get pushback like from that. I think when we talk about coming inside and helping, we're talking about like linemen at the second level, and we're talking about, hopefully we're talking about when you have the freedom to do so. We can tell already right now. This running back wants the edge. He's trying to get outside. So he may get dragged down at the 25-yard line. And number 3 number 3 on our deal, that number 1 receiver at the top and that defender, it may be totally irrelevant, but also he may not get dragged down, and that's going to be a really material block. So I don't think you're going to get much pushback from that. I think they're going to be really comfortable staying on their guy.
Got it. Graphics department numbered these receivers opposite of what they are in the lexicon, but that's okay. Just realized
I think they probably used like the standard English left to right deal.
I think they need to understand the relevant vernacular of how things are communicated. And when we talk about the 1, 2, and 3 receiver, that's confusing.
Not really. DY, as a back judge, how are you going to work this play?
So probably as a back judge, at the time it's paused, I'm going to be on number 1's block 2. The biggest reason is it's really important at this point at 0. I mean, this is the kind of penultimate block at this point of the play. This is the one that matters. Yeah. And I'm always working from an inside out orientation. So I'm almost never going to skip over a relevant block to go further outside. So because we talked about that's probably where the line of scrimmage would be. And I think that's appropriate too. I think at where the play is paused, I'm okay having line of scrimmage and back judge on number one's block, and we're not officiating number two yet. Yeah. Even though there's potential danger there, I just think that's the best place for me as a back judge to be.
See, this is interesting, and I know I'm playing the result, but I would love to throw this out there for discussion anyway. On a play like this, there's nothing for the umpire to do except work number one probably at this time. There's nothing for the center judge to do except work number one at this time. Umpires
aren't working one.
What else is he going to work?
I don't know, but he's not working number one. I know that.
Yeah. Okay, great. But if they were working in the way I think they should work, we may end up with 4 sets of eyes on that particular block. Is that okay?
Yeah, right now there's no other block.
Right.
I agree with you on the center judge. I mean, let's get our eyes out there. Why not?
Yeah, you got to.
Right. I mean,
and the referee can clean up all that backside stuff. Line of scrimmage at the bottom can clean up all the backside stuff.
Yeah.
Deep wing at the bottom can clean up that second level action that's developing.
Yeah.
But we could end up with a bunch of people looking at that block at the 25-yard line, 26-yard line. And is that okay? I don't know. Maybe.
Well, I mean, yeah, for the time being, the danger of this is obviously what happens next. But I don't know. But so what's our trigger to get to this block? And then what's our trigger to get away from this block?
Good point. Yeah, I like the way you said that. That was actually pretty good, Brandon.
Thanks. I've been working on it hard. I've been working hard on that.
Okay. Wow, that was pretty good. Okay. Are we done here? We like the way we work this play?
I don't know.
DY, you're going to work number one?
I assume we see the whole block. We see the whole play at some point, and you're going to something's going to happen here because obviously this play was picked for a reason. I'm not, I wasn't born yesterday.
Let's take a look at the whole play.
Oh my gosh, there it is. See, well, we just uncovered why this wasn't called.
Yeah, absolutely.
We just figured out why this wasn't called.
So let me ask you a question. God. First of all, let's evaluate the block.
That's unbelievable, man.
I know. First of all, is it a foul? I think we can categorically say this is a foul, right? I mean, we can't say the dude turned his back. So,
well, I don't know what the defender's really doing.
I don't know what the hell he's doing either. But he still can't block in the back. You just can't block somebody in the back.
I mean, Daniel what is he doing? Is he like thinking about taking an angle or something? What is he doing?
I mean, it looks like he's trying to play what we used to call bail coverage, where he comes up and then bails, but I don't know. Like he's very slow to read the play. And he does not turn on him. He turns on him and runs multiple steps. Like there's no too committed and then he turned.
Right.
He blocks him square in the back.
So that's a foul we're comfortable saying that's a foul for illegal.
That is fouling. That is against the rules.
Okay, good.
That is against the rules, yeah.
And we know why we missed it, right? Like this was
we just broke it down
a quarter second after the video was stopped.
That's what I'm saying.
That block occurred.
Yeah.
And
I said, but for the record, we can go back and read
here we go. Here we go. Yes.
I said there's danger there. Like there's danger in not officiating number 2.
You did.
And so here it is.
Here's the Daniel, you cheated and allowed the UCF team to score a touchdown because you wanted to look in someone else, fish in someone else's pond.
Inside out.
He played the odds. This is a very rare play.
It's very rare.
Now, it doesn't mean that we can't work to get it, obviously, which is why we're here. But I mean, this is, the back judge needs to be on number 1. I'm sorry.
Exactly.
Number 3 as it was, but number 1 on our
area number graphics. 1, Brandon.
Area 1.
It's really easy to use the term area.
Maybe the answer is what about that's funny. What about the deep wing at the top just looking through? No, he's not going to see it if he's locked in on his guy.
So see, and this is really my ultimate question on a play like this. can we work a play the way that we expect to work it and still miss a foul?
Yes. Happens all the time.
Yeah.
We need 9 guys is the deal.
Absolutely. Grow the
No.
grow the galaxy or
we probably
universe
need
or
less
whatever.
than 8, honestly. The way I
No, I like giving opportunities.
Okay.
I think I'm that's part of me.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. That's stupid.
Oh shoot!
So how
Wow,
about it, man?
great play. I mean,
Yeah, like
great play. Although I wouldn't want to be involved in it.
no.
Oh yeah, I don't want that.
This
I
doesn't
think we
need
would miss this 10 times out of 10 on the field.
It's just unfortunate the timing with which the push in the back occurs with the disengagement of the legal block in area number 1,
Right.
which is what royally what's us.
Yeah.
Like that just all. I mean, that guy could easily hold that guy and he doesn't, right? And at the same time that he doesn't hold that and we are really feeling good about his block, something happens that we totally miss.
Yeah.
And that's just officiating, I mean, they have 22, we have, I guess, 8. I don't know. Although 22 is probably not fair because usually 2 are jostling with each other. So there's really not a whole lot of matchups to watch, but we just missed this, man. And we know why.
Right.
We know why. I agree. Honestly, I think you're right. The deep wing is probably the best to get this on this play, in my opinion.
Well, that's why I was asking if the back judge is comfortable allowing other officials to work those significant blocks. Can they expand their vision and go work something else, or is that just playing the result?
No. I don't know. I'm going to be firm that the back judge needs to be at the inside receiver here.
I agree too.
No, and that's 15 yards apart and a significant, angle relative to the back judge's field of vision. So no.
Yeah.
The deep. I'm just trying
back
to
judge will see. Back judge will see 24 on the ground and think, "Huh? I wonder how he ended up on the ground face first.
Tangled feet, probably.
Tangled feet.
Yeah.
Oh,
Just trying
what
to
about
see.
that? It's tangled feet.
That's not tangled feet, Daniel.
I just think the deep wing.
No, I know.
I think the deep wing actually does have a chance at this. I mean, I don't know. I've never worked there, obviously, so I'm a little bit out of school. Not a little bit, a lot of it.
Yeah.
I mean, you're in that. I don't know. We're working pretty hard to get to the goal line too. So
not at the time of the block.
I know, but we're thinking that. You see what I'm saying? Like you have to before you do something, you start thinking that.
All right, here we go with all of this stuff. At the time of the block, we could have worked that block. If, and I'm not saying we should have worked that block. I'm saying let's say we knew that was about to happen, but we would easily be able to work that block without thinking, I got to get to the goal line. But we were working other action, which is fair as a deep.
I also think it's possible that we're working our matchup, which we should be.
Yeah.
We now all of a sudden understand it's a run, and the thought triggers us, oh boy, we got to cover the goal line. And then we kind of lose faculties of other potential officiating efforts. And I don't know. I mean, I'm not, again, great. Like, I feel like if we get this from the side judge or whatever, field judge probably, I guess, we're just this is a great call.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
So, since we didn't get it, we got to find ways to get it. I do not want the back judge to worry about this play.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I just don't. And I don't know.
Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to write a letter to the University of Central Florida and request that they don't do this or do what they did on the last play either.
That's a good idea. I like that.
I don't really want to officiate that type of stuff because
just don't do that. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a hell of a play.
I don't know if Don is here. If Don's at the buffet table, I don't know if Sergio is here. If he's at the ice cream stand.
Well, I don't know. They can't help us on blocks in the back, and they don't have much help on OPI other than where the ball's touched. So they're probably sick of this.
They probably are. Well,
they're probably adding another scoop to their ice cream cup.
Yep. Here we go. Second quarter.
That sounds good.
This play started at a minute 3 in the second quarter. We see what happened.
Wait, what?
Looks like the ruling on the field is a fumble recovered by the defense.
All right. Seems
Nice
logical.
job by the center judge staying alive.
That would be an umpire. This is the Rocky Mountain. I mean, this is the Big Sky.
Umpire.
This is the Big Sky.
Umpire.
So we got an umpire in the backfield.
So
Gotcha. Gotcha.
these are real men that work umpire in the backfield in Crew of 7. We know that about them.
What an idiot.
We get in trouble late in a half because we're thinking we got to get to the football so fast,
Yeah.
you know, and that really sucks us in. And honestly, somebody's going to get killed. Wow,
Ooh.
what a play. It's a
Was
tight
this
play.
oh God. So we got the ruling on the field, Mr. Cruz.
Yeah, the ruling on the field's a fumble.
Recovered by the defense.
And advance for a touchdown.
Advanced for a touchdown. The
All
play
right.
started at 1 minute, 3 seconds left to go in the half.
Okay.
Okay, let's put ourselves in the
Holy
replay booth.
smokes.
Golly, I know. What do we need to do? I don't know.
Well-
What do we need to do first?
Well, there's way too much smoke just to like do an expedited or whatever.
Oh
we're
yeah,
talking
we're not
about now.
expediting nothing. No.
So I think we're going to stop the game.
Right.
Can we go back on the field
That's
for
a
a
good
second
idea.
here? Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we go back on the field?
Yeah, let's do it.
How do you if this is a pass, first of all, how do you reconcile with yourself the potential for intentional grounding when you're ruling fumble here? And because we've got a lot of things going on, the quarterback's potentially throwing after contact,
Yeah.
but also like somebody kind of bats the ball, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. So at what point in time are you talking about? Are you talking about as number 30 is running towards the end zone? Or are you saying, dang, I wonder if somebody was in the area if that was a pass? Is that what you're saying?
No, I think we're going to be we're going to be working fumble the whole
Okay,
way.
so we're
'cause now
done
working
with that.
blocks.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
So,
so
you're
now
talking about when-
Don's paging, Sergio.
All
These guys are paging,
All
right? Or whatever.
hopefully they
we're doing
wipe
now.
their hands and don't put barbecue sauce on the doggone button.
Well, the button tends to get stuck. You know, I think
I
that's why
guess so.
that's why we've had those faulty pages in the past.
That's right. It gets stuck because the ice cream gets
Barbecue sauce is a bit sticky.
It is.
At times. Yeah,
It's molasses in there. I don't know if you know that or not, Brandon Cruz.
I don't know that. I don't know anything
lesson
about
for you.
molasses. I don't, no,
Yeah.
that's not my wheelhouse. Obviously, Mission Impossible is more my wheelhouse. No, I want to talk. So if
So we
once
get paged.
we get paged.
Yeah.
You know, this is a ruling of fumble, quarterback pass fumble. You know, I don't want us to default to say, well, we didn't call intentional grounding because we ruled fumble, because we can't just sit there and announce that every single time. We have to have a legitimate potential for intentional grounding.
Well, hold on. Back up, Brandon. Back up. How did you know what is being reviewed? What if they're reviewing that the quarterback's knee was
I know
down?
it's being reviewed.
What? What if his knee was down? You can't see his knee.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, this might be the
Well, we do have
quarterback was
we got some pretty good communication systems now. I think we've got enough for whoever's on the 020 to tell us what's being reviewed. And if you don't know, then you should ask.
Okay, good. That's what I'm getting to. We're a process-based organization. I'm not sure if you understand that or not. So I'm just trying to let us work through the process of what would happen.
I'll tell you this. At this point, if you have that question, which is legitimate, are you
What are we
reviewing?
reviewing?
Are you reviewing him being down or the fumble? And that's kind of a weird question. It makes sense to me, but I get it might not make sense to everybody else.
I would ask, what are we reviewing? And let them tell me what they're reviewing.
If they say we're reviewing the fumble,
They may say everything, huh? We're reviewing everything.
I know.
And
Are
I'm
we
like,
are we reviewing whether that was a pass or if he was down?
okay.
You know,
I like
more
that. I like
specific.
that. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. Okay. Okay.
If they say it might be a pass, I mean, and again, I don't know if this is even humanly possible. But do we have the potential now for intentional grounding? If you get information they're reviewing pass,
Right.
because if we're going to keep that in play, we gotta announce that before we get over to the monitor or the
Correct.
headset or whatever.
Correct.
So That's all.
Because
I
we
was talking
can't
about.
have the replay official judge
Create-
whether a receiver, an eligible receiver, was in the area, because that is judgment, and they're in.
Yeah, and
just
nor would we
involved.
want them to. That's not
Correct.
their job. So
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay. So, all right. Well, what does that look like on the field? I'm gonna tell you. Well, we're reviewing to see if that was a fumble or a pass. Now, what does that look like? Now, what are you gonna do, Mr.
I just
Referee?
got to think about, and hopefully talk to the umpire here if I'm the referee, or hopefully the umpire's listening in and can come over and say, that was, if they're thinking about making this a pass, that sure looks like a quarterback just getting, throwing the ball away to avoid a sack to me.
Right.
Now I might have to then, and the last thing we want to do is prolong all this, even though we already have. But I mean, do we go to the link? Man, did anybody know if there was anybody in the area there? Because we're not going to know. We're watching all this, right?
Right.
We being referee umpire from the backfield, we're just watching all this.
Right.
But I'm telling you, that's sure, if that's a pass, that just somehow we got to trigger in our mind to think about intentional grounding. To me, he just throws this clearly after contact. And if somebody's going to tell me that's a pass, then goodness sakes, he's avoiding a sack by throwing that. If you're going to tell me it's a pass,
Okay, good. I'm fine with that. So not. But when do we get information from anyone else to determine if there was an eligible receiver in the area? Because there's 0%
That's what I'm saying.
Referee or umpire is going to know that. 0%.
That's what I'm saying. So do we then go ask, hey, we got these great O2O systems that work most of the time, and say, and that's the problem here. Because
nobody's going to know.
When we say, did anybody have a receiver in the area? Everybody's like, what are you talking about?
Right.
Reverse mechanics. I got to get to the goal line or whatever. There was maybe a block in the back. I'm not saying there was. I'm just, it's like, I have no idea,
Okay, so we don't know. So then what do? We can't. What judgment?
You can't make it up.
You can't make it up. Okay.
If you don't have all the elements of potential intentional grounding, I just think you just kind of punt, and just say, look, the ruling on the field is a fumble recovered by the defense, advanced for a touchdown. That plays under review. And I think you just eat whatever potential intentional grounding there may be.
So in absence of
because
knowledge of positive knowledge, then we're going to say that there was an eligible receiver in the area.
Well, we're not saying there was. We're just saying
we don't
know.
know.
So we can't come out and create a fictional foul.
We can't create a foul. I like that. Okay. Go ahead, D.Y. I'm sorry. I was cutting you off.
Well, no, that's good. Because if you say that, then if you say that you're saying there is a foul for intentional grounding, when we come back, we're putting a foul. You have to put a foul down, right? You can't say that, then go to review and be like, you know what? Matter of fact, that eligible receiver is kind of close. This is not actually ING. If I'm not wrong, that's my understanding. We're locked in.
Yes.
And so you don't want to do that if you don't have all the elements.
Right.
That's right.
Okay. So, all right. So we got paid. We ruled fumble recovered by the defense. We got Page. We asked, what are we reviewing? We were told, we're trying to see if this was a pass, and we're trying to see if the knee was down prior to the ball coming loose.
Fair enough.
Okay, so then we try to talk to our line of scrimmage officials, our umpire. We talk to everyone, try to get this information. If we don't have positive knowledge, then the only thing we can go with is that the ruling is just leave the ruling on the field as it was, and then we just deal with whatever the result is coming out of replay.
Yep.
Okay, so if this is determined to be a pass, then all we have is an incomplete pass.
That's all we have.
Okay. Would we then, let's say it's determined that the runner's knee was down prior to the ball coming loose. And we saw this play started at 1:03 on the clock, or elbow. Let's say left elbow, maybe. I don't know. I don't remember what hand he had the ball in.
Yep.
Now we got some other issues to think about, right?
Yep.
Who's going to be aware enough to think about the 10-second runoff potential?
So hang on.
Okay, sorry, I'm going too fast.
You said we're reversing from fumble to down.
Yeah, let's do that first.
Okay.
Oh, we already did the pass part. We reversed from fumble to pass. All we have is an incomplete pass.
That's easy.
We'll reset the clock to where the ball hit the ground. because we're
Yeah.
under 2 minutes in the second quarter. So
And
we
we're
have
going
to
to
reset
the-
the clock to where the ball hit the
we're
ground.
going to the
if this is
previous
a
spot.
pass. Yes,
Yeah.
previous spot. It looked like the ball hit the ground at 1 minute, maybe. Okay.
Sure. If we reverse from fumble to down,
Yes.
time already ran off the clock. I don't think we're doing anything with that. Unless you want to say we
Oh,
put
we have to reset the clock.
well that a correct ruling would not have created a stop clock. So what are we resetting it to?
A correct ruling. That's true. Jeez.
He's down by a rule with an inbounds.
Inbounds. If team
Don't
A
you think I
has a
forgot all these
time,
rules?
if team A has a timeout,
Yes.
then we would,
Sure. They could use the timeout at the point he's down and we'll reset the clock there.
and then we would reset the clock. So how would that look?
Just what we said.
Well, no process. We're process. Did I?
No,
did
I get
mention that we're a process organization?
Well, that's the process. I mean, we have to be aware to say, look, we're reversing to down.
Okay.
So now we got to ask, really both coaches have the option, because I don't know what the whole field position thing is here, although it looks like there's a big logo right there. So they're probably at midfield. Both coaches actually do have, both teams have the option to call timeout to put the clock at the exact moment where somebody's telling us he was down.
Correct.
That's available.
So, and this is the thing I'm wondering from a mechanical standpoint. We've made our decision. I'm saying I'm the referee with my hand with the headset on, talking to the replay official. He said, "Oh yeah, this dude is down." Okay, what would the clock be when he was down? He says, "Okay, well, it'll be 1:02 because it looked like it was before 1 minute because when the ball hit the ground, it looked like it was at 1 minute. So I don't know, but it's close enough. I have no idea. Whatever it was 1:02. So then, do I say, okay, cool? No, I need to get all this information. So how do we get this information?
What information?
If either team A or team B wants to stop the clock.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's a lot of people with O2Os on now. So if we have the luxury of that, then we should be able to execute that through the O2O. I thought in that case, it was best for the communicator to be working a parallel process to the replay official.
And typically they do, on our crew at least. The replay.
I hope so.
Yeah.
You know, and I know that was really tough. It took us several years for some reason to get there, but I feel like we did.
Yeah.
So that should be working like, hey, we're reversing to down. Either team can use a timeout to keep the clock where it was when he was down. You guys need to go talk to your respective coaches and ask them that. Is
Okay.
what I would want to happen.
Okay. And then we come out. If neither team wants to use the timeout, then the ruling on the field is the runner was down prior to the ball coming loose.
Yep.
It's second down.
Yeah, the clock is
And then we're going to wind the clock up.
Yeah, keep the clock where it was and just wind it up. That's
Okay.
I believe the proper
If team
way to
A
handle
or
this.
team B wants to use a timeout, the ruling on the field is the runner was down. Montana State elects to use a timeout.
Please reset the game clock.
Please reset the game clock to 1 minute and whatever second.
Yep.
It's second down.
If you want, it would be. I hear what
This
I know.
is
What
weird.
I know what you're talking about. So it would be consistent for us to run 10 from the point he was down, but I don't think that's the rule. Since I just don't. I don't know. I mean,
I'm going to Rule 12.
help me out because I just don't think that's the
I
rule.
don't know if this is 1-to-1, but in terms of putting time back on the clock, if same scenario, we rule fumble.
Yep.
IVE shows he was down at 2:05.
Yep.
We even though by rule we would put time back on the clock with a reversal under 2, because it even
You
so like
only-
we're at
hang on,
156.
Hang on,
right?
hang on. You
We're
only
not-
put time. You only put time back on the clock if the ruling itself creates a stop clock. Otherwise, all that time just kind of rolls off into the.
We're right. No,
universe.
yes. Yes, but we also only do that once it gets under 2.
I agree with you.
But what I'm saying is, even if it's under 2, like 157, if the correct ruling would have put it at 203, we're not going to reset that.
Right.
We would
Well,
stay at
the
156
correct
It's not
ruling
under
of
2 minutes.
the correct ruling of what though?
of whatever, out of
No.
bounds.
Okay, out of bounds, line to gain, incomplete pass.
Right. Right. All those things.
Okay.
I'm just saying, is that 1-to-1 with the conversation that we're having, or is this still different? Do we feel like?
Yeah, I mean, this became very simple the way that they did this, a couple years ago. To me, became very simple. You only reset the clock under 2 if the correct ruling would have actually stopped the clock by rule.
Cause a stop clock, correct.
That's it. Simple. I think that was the goal too, just to simplify everything.
Right. So in this particular play, if the ruling on the field is indeed a pass and we have an incomplete pass and we had no knowledge of the receivers in the area and all that other crap, then we would reset the clock to the point in time when the ball hit the ground.
Yes.
Which was 1 minute.
Yes. And if we executed intentional grounding, well, then I guess we wouldn't have the runoff, right? Because
no, if it is 1 minute, I'm saying 1 minute because that's what it looks like to me. But
if it was 59,
now we got a whole different.
now
scenario.
we got now
Right.
we can put a runoff on, I believe, because now we're under 1.
That's correct.
Yes.
So long as the referee made the proper announcement getting into replay. I mean,
which is a 0% chance of that happening.
0% chance.
Yeah.
It's a good word,
maybe
but
now that after we've done this, it's not 0% chance.
Daniel Young, I was yelling at my TV, by the way, on Saturday. You were involved in you had a very similar play in your game where the ruling on the field was the quarterback was down prior to the pass or whatever you call that, and the game was stopped. It was determined that it actually was a pass, and I was yelling at you that we need to talk about eligible receiver in the area. And I would love to know from a first-person perspective, was that conversation had in the moment?
Yeah, I think it was.
Yelling at me too, by the way.
I was yelling at anyone who would listen.
I'm trying to remember. I feel like we did have that conversation.
Who had the conversation? Did the referee have the perspective to think about that? Did one of the other field officials have the perspective to think about it?
No, I'm golly, man. I'm trying to remember because I remember the play you're talking about because what I was thinking was about like, probably should have called that forward progress. Anyways, I cannot remember.
Okay, well, you got.
I'll find out for you.
Weekend with your crew. Because I was yelling at you, and I was that we have to make this announcement / determination.
Yeah, I mean,
there was somebody in the area.
There's somebody there. There's an announcement, right?
Wait, say it again.
If you decide there's somebody in the area, that's what you mean determination. Then you're not going to make an announcement.
Yeah, there's no need to make an announcement if there was a receiver in the area. But if there was not a receiver in the area, then we need to be able to, number one, think about that, make that judgment, and make that announcement if appropriate.
Yeah.
It's a good point.
Okay.
Would we reset? I'm sorry. With the ball hitting B's helmet, can you have ING? See, that's a really good question. I just don't like the fact that he's clearly, if this is a pass, he's clearly getting rid of the ball to avoid it.
Yeah, I say yes.
I do too. I agree.
If this is a pass, he needs to have a receiver in the area. And I mean,
but that can be a complication. It's a good point.
Yeah.
Just the way this comes out. I mean, if this is a pass, which we don't know, do we?
Well, I know
it's a pass.
Yeah,
it is a pass. Yeah, he kind of pitches it forward or whatever that's called, option pitch or shuttle pass. I don't know what it's called.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. That's a good question. That ball is thrown right into B's helmet.
Yeah, but I want to see a receiver somewhere in the vicinity.
I agree.
of
I
that.
agree.
And,
I mean, it's different if he's in a drop back posture,
right.
and then, yeah, I mean, maybe there is some contact initially, but then he's able to get a relatively good throw on the ball, but it gets deflected. That's a big consideration.
Yeah.
This is just a panicked quarterback dumping the pass. There's a high threshold here for him to avoid intentional grounding if we know it's a pass.
If we know it's a pass, correct.
Yeah.
Okay, so yes, Center Judge brought the info and had that
Really?
conversation.
What?
Nice.
Yeah.
What did he say?
Damn.
And how did you find that?
Well, I just asked my referee. The Center Judge declared him out of the tackle box.
I'm glad he's on call.
Oh.
Wait, what?
Yeah, Center Judge declared him out of the tackle box, and the ball was clearly beyond the line of scrimmage.
It was, but I'm not sure he was out of the tackle.
I didn't even think about that. I didn't feel like he was out of the tackle. I got to go back and look now. But I don't remember that. I was getting yelled at by somebody, and the tackle box never came up. That's interesting. Maybe we were both blind.
Yeah, no, it may be a little generous. It's not outside the realm of possibility. And I haven't gone back. And I haven't gone back and evaluated it. But that and look, who cares? I mean, that's great. But the fact that it came up is fantastic.
It is.
Us before we got to the headset.
Yes, tremendous.
But I also think there was a receiver in the area.
There was.
So
Yeah.
the tackle box is irrelevant only if somebody like you would have said, who cares? There's a receiver in the area.
Okay, so Matthew says, will we reset and then do a 10-second runoff? The
That's
answer
what
to
we were
that
talking about.
is yes.
No.
Excuse me?
Wait a second.
If 10-second
In
runoff
what scenario?
applies, that this is a pass and we know that there's no eligible receiver in the area.
Yeah.
We're doing everything right. Then yes, we would have to reset to when the ball hit the ground. And if
Run time.
when the ball hit the ground, it was less than 1 minute
That's right.
in the half, then yes, we would reset it to whatever the time was when the ball hit the ground, and then do a 10-second runoff.
But if we ruled down, we're not. I think people do get confused by that.
We're not correct.
We're not, because we're not reversing.
There's no stopped clock.
Well, and it's not even that. I mean, well, it is that. There's no
Yeah, it
reason to
doesn't-
reset the clock.
Correct.
I could buy a rule proposal that said in this scenario right here, ruling on the field's fumble, they recover, all this time elapses. I could buy a rule proposal that said, actually what should happen if he's down is you should reset the clock to when he was down, then run 10. I could buy that. That's not out of line to me. But again, what they wanted to do a couple years ago is just simplify it all. And I mean, since time ran, we're just going to go with that time that ran, really, is what they're saying.
Okay, Matthew's on 12-3-6, and it is kind of
With 12-3-6.
God dog it. Clock adjustments and the situations that may be addressed by the replay official.
Okay.
Clock adjustments and status when a ruling is reviewed and overturned with less than 2 minutes in the second quarter or with less than 2 minutes in the fourth quarter.
Keep going. Yep. Following. There's nothing to reset the clock here too.
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
that's
there's
that's so confusing that they would just throw
I
that
know
out.
it's confusing, but it's quite simple. The ruling doesn't kill the clock. The correct ruling doesn't kill the clock.
Right.
What he says C. Check C. I don't know what subsection.
With
C
less
says.
than 1 minute in either half,
Yeah.
and a replay review results in the on-field ruling being overturned,
Okay.
and the correct ruling would not have stopped the game clock, then the clock will be reset to the time the ball is declared dead by replay. The referee will subtract 10 seconds from the game clock. Oh, yeah, this is less than 1 minute. But in this situation, when the play was over, it would have been more than 1 minute. So Matthews.
Well, say he's down with 58 seconds then. Are we saying that we're going to put 58 on the clock? And
Yes,
run
into a
10 from
10-second
that point?
runoff. Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
See, that's
Yes.
I don't know if that's true.
Oh, absolutely.
Interesting. Because
Yeah.
what we were talking about a couple years ago was all this time ran, right, on the return.
Yes.
And that's basically good enough,
Equivalent to the 10-second runoff.
Equivalent in philosophy, not
Right.
not second for second.
Right.
But like I said, I already said this, by the way. I could see that is what we want to do, and maybe that is. Maybe that's what the rule is saying.
That is what the rule is saying. Yes.
Fine, then do that. Do that.
But it has to
Great.
be less than 1 minute. We're not resetting the clock for any other reason.
That's
the
right.
only reason
So
we
here's
reset the
problem.
clock is to do the 10-second runoff.
Okay,
That's
so
the
he's
only
down.
reason.
He's down with 102.
Correct.
This guy takes 30 seconds to run this back. Let's just say
Right.
you're not resetting anything. You see what
No,
I'm saying?
You're not correct.
That's a
Correct.
really that's a weird thing about this rule.
It is weird.
So it'd be better, I guess, if the offense is motivated to score here. It'd be better if he was down with 59 seconds, because then they only
Get all
go to
the time
49.
back. Yeah.
They get all the time back.
Yeah.
That's
And
a
if they have a
weird
time,
part of
and
the
if they
rule.
have a
But then, you know
timeout,
what?
they actually get a lot of
Well,
it.
they can. So here's the thing. I mean, it doesn't matter what time is left. They can
That's true.
spend the time out
Timeout anyway. Yeah.
to get all the time back, right?
Yeah.
We need to make sure we offer them that.
Yes.
That's just good game management. So we need
Yeah.
to. Somebody on the crew needs to have the wherewithal. I mean, it should be the replay guy, but don't ever rely on. I mean, they got a lot going on. Let's just be honest. You know, they're looking at all these angles. Never mind, they got to clean their hands before they touch the video equipment. No, but seriously, they have a lot of things going on. So
Oh, yeah.
somebody just has to say, wait a second, they can call a timeout and get their time back when the guy was down.
Mhm,
And
mhm.
we're going to absolutely do that. We're going to absolutely do that. The ruling on the field was wrong. So
Right.
replay's correcting to what should have been ruled, so to speak.
Right.
That means they get the opportunity to get all the time back.
Right.
All right.
Oh boy. Okay.
Okay, so that's interesting. So he's saying it's in the rule now, and maybe it's always been. Maybe I was wrong and probably was.
That's zap. You know when replay officials like to say zap 10?
No, I know they'd say Zap.
That's that zap 10 crap.
I just didn't think we were doing that when
Oh yeah, less than 1 minute.
time
Absolutely.
runs anyways.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, good. Well, we all learned something. Well, I don't know. Maybe nobody learned anything, but I did. So that's good.
No, I think we learned a lot today. We learned that OPI is still a mystery. I thought we were going to
Mission
solve the mystery.
Impossible.
No,
I
Can you
like
stop?
Mission Impossible.
Can
I
you
think I
stop?
like that. I think I'm gonna run with that. I've got authority to run with that, right?
No,
No.
that's
you don't.
dubious.
Really?
That statement is very dubious.
No. What made you think that? I don't
Yeah,
even
I know.
understand,
Oh,
like where that came
did I overstep?
Yeah. You're a habitual line stepper.
Oh shoot!
What else did we learn? We learned that Daniel Young is going to lie and say he would have been all over a block in the back. He's just lies. But
I didn't say
he's a
that.
liar.
He actually didn't say that. I don't know, where did you come up with that?
Well,
literally
because
didn't say that.
once we showed the whole play, he's like, "Oh, I would have been all over that."
I don't think you did. I don't know.
No, I didn't. I said I would not be on that, even though admittedly there is the potential for danger there.
what he said.
That's what I said.
He
Then
actually
when you saw the play, what did you say? What'd you say
no,
when
he
you saw the play?
preemptively said there is danger there, but I'm going to be on number 1, which was actually number 3, which was just a
And-
horrific
Area
graphic
number 1.
mistake.
Area.
And then once we saw the block, I said, "Look, see, I told you there's the potential for danger."
My narrative is
I
much
didn't
better.
change my mind.
I prefer to blame you
Oh.
for things.
Wow.
I know you do. I know you do, and that's okay. I can take that. I'm
Yeah.
fine with that.
It's amazing that all these plays exist in this game. I mean,
I know,
they just all exist.
right?
You know, that they just beg for breakdown, and I know it takes a long time, but gosh, these are just unbelievable plays.
Right.
How does some dude way downfield shove a guy in the back for no reason, and it's a blind spot on mechanics?
Yeah.
And then this play is
Ridiculous.
just you can't even really officiate this play.
You can't.
I'm sorry, it's a
You
fumble.
literally cannot.
So sorry,
Right.
it's a fumble. You know, if it's indisputable that's a pass, great. They're going to unfairly get the ball at the previous spot. I'm sorry.
Right. And let's make sure replay officials know that they cannot create intentional grounding on these plays. Can't
Yeah, don't
do it.
even please don't
Don't
try to
do
do
it.
that. Like,
Don't-
that's just
don't
going to
do
make us all lose credibility. Like we can't.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just not a replay thing. It's just not.
Whew. All right. Well, there we go. Almost 2 hours.
Oh yeah. If we would have started on time, it would have been 2
If
hours.
we started on time, it'd be 2 hours.
Good work.
Yeah. All
It
right.
was fun.
All right, so DUI's
Okay.
off. You got a game involving a team from Florida, we know, so that's good. We'll look for Corey. Hopefully he travels safe,
Yeah.
and we will we'll be back next
Fun
week.
weekend. Yep.
All right.
All right.
Later.
Easy
See
on
you
the
guys.
beat. Bye. Be careful.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh,
See.
safety first.
Bye.
All right. See y'all.